Now you should be at the junction of the Lime Ridge Trail and a fire road called the Buckeye Trail. As you drop down into the northern grasslands of Lime Ridge, did you notice some tubes with little oaks inside? They're part of the Oak Habitat Restoration Project led by Ralph Craich of the Walnut Creek Open Space Foundation. Ralph and Dick Daniel founded the project in 1991 when habitat restoration was a new idea. Leslie Hunt got her hands dirty the very first year after seeing an article in the paper asking for volunteers.
We started in 1991 because the people who founded it noticed that while there were small oaks growing in their yards, there were none in the open space. So they did some experimentation. They discovered that oaks would grow. The problem was that cattle grazed them, and they got eaten before they ever had a chance to get bigger. So with that, they started the Oak Project. We gathered acorns, we planted them, we cared for them. We would baby them through the first year, and after that, they've got to sink or swim. We've done something like 2,500 sites, and 700 trees survive today. So, we feel that it has been a success. We have a new generation of oaks out here, and now probably 40% of our land does not have grazing. So we will have another generation of oaks. So our oaks are safe. They're not going to die out.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of noise from traffic along this stretch, but there's still wildness. Sometimes you can see white-tailed kites hovering, or kiting as it's known, and then dive-bombing to the ground to grab rodents. These flashy birds of prey are white and gray with black shoulders. In springtime, red-winged blackbirds flock here too with their jungle sounds and bright red epaulets, or shoulder patches.
But if you dye those red patches black, he'll lose all social standing and his territory as well.
It's all about the color?
It's all about those red patches.
But the most amazing thing on this side of the ridge is the view. It's late in the day when we get to a spot where we can see the long arm of Lime Ridge reaching for the delta.
This is what Lime Ridge is about to me.
Describe what you're seeing.
The first image I ever saw of Lime Ridge was a Bob Walker photo, which he provided to me because we were trying to stop one of 4 developments happening simultaneously around the preserve here. And that image has dominated my idea of Lime Ridge forever forth. And it was a helicopter aerial taken showing the preserve in the opposite context, looking up the long peninsula of open space between the 2 cities up to the mountain. It's a gorgeous photo, but it works the same way looking down the peninsula between the 2 cities, and it's just this lovely rolling landscape that's just made for trails to loop around one knoll after another and just carry you up or down this long gradual incline up to the mountain. So you guys had to see this.
It's pretty remarkable, really. People who love this place, like the volunteers of the Walnut Creek Open Space Foundation, are doing their best to reassemble a wildlife and botanical preserve right here in an urban area. Save Mount Diablo is bolstering that effort by defending the area's edges from development and connecting it to a larger open space preserve that extends some 30 miles from Black Diamond Mines in the north almost to Livermore in the south.
The fact is, even with the lands that we've lost to development over the last 20 or 30 years, the situation with wildlife has gotten better. Lime Ridge is a story of restoration, both natural restoration and human-aided restoration.
Now, turn right on the Buckeye Trail. That's the fire road by the seasonal pond. And take it to the Ohlone Trail, another fire road that will lead you back to the staging area. The signage may be sketchy, but basically what you're doing is walking north on the west side of the ridge to get back to the staging area. This is our last stop. Have a great hike back, and when you have time, head to Save Mount Diablo's website to have a look at the other hikes in the Audible Mount Diablo series.